Hey, what's up, Chris? How you doing, man? Not much here. Just using a little free time here in the fish room. How's your Sunday doing? Let's get it. What's up, Jared? Another wonderful Sunday. How you doing, man? How's your weekend going? How's the fish doing? Is doing water changes today? What are you guys up to? Yeah, thank you, man. Before I get into the video, I'll just start off with my normal spiel here. For anybody who's new, I guess, more so. This is just a live video. There's no format, guys. Ask anything, request to see anything in the fish room. Off fish stuff too is cool. Setups, filters, anything you could think of. I normally don't record other things and post video on my YouTube other than just the fish themselves, but this is a good time if you want to ask anything. It's free game. Everything's open. Everything's on the table. So feel free. You guys who always show up, I really appreciate it, and you guys know the drill. It's not just about me and my fish tanks. It's about everybody here. Last live video I think was pretty cool. One of my buddies who imports and sells fish, I think found multiple connections. People were looking for different species, and they got in contact there. So that's, to me, what it's all about, networking for everyone. Obviously with a live video, you got to see someone's footage. We don't want to look at nothing. So you're stuck with my fish tanks. So speak up, don't be shy. Feel free to ask to see anything you want to see. We'll jump around as much as you want and show any updates or any questions you have on updates. It's a good time for that. So, and occasionally I'm going to be scrolling through the comments to see what you guys are saying, and I'll try to make sure I cover each and every single one of them. Chris said the blue carps are thriving, the ones I got from you. Oh, it's awesome to hear, man. Yeah, they're a really fun species, really beautiful species. It's kind of a argument that I see a lot where it's just which cichlid is the most colorful, and excuse me, hard to really argue with one color or another. But the Carpentis, as far as their blues are concerned, man, these things are, and you're not even seeing it very well in these live videos. The color is just not coming through on these videos, I know for sure. But yeah, the Carpentis just color up really small, and it's a great fish to keep. Not a whole lot of sensitivity issues. Little aggressive, but if you can do a colony or group, you'll get away with it, I think, for a while. Excuse me. And it's good to hear yours are doing well, Chris. How big are yours right now? Are they growing? You notice any size difference? Jared said, looking good. Just finished my water changes for the weekend. Pulling for a weekend full of Braves win. Okay, I'm guessing that's baseball. Sorry, pardon my ignorance. I don't really watch baseball. I don't really watch a lot of sports nowadays. Maybe football's the last one, but Chris said they're his favorite fish. Those are the blue Texas, the Carpentis. That's awesome, man. Definitely one of my favorites. Uh-oh, Chris said go Astros. Let's not make this a baseball debate. Just kidding. Anything's on the table, but I wouldn't be able to add to that if it were baseball. Sorry. Scott, how you doing, man? Scott's Aquatics is here. I'm doing good. Scott, how are you doing? Hope your weekend's going well. Chris said he likes networking, always looking for conversation. That's awesome, man. Should be a networking hobby. You know, when we get stuck in our little bubbles, that's when I think it's hard to learn more, and at least for me. And if I didn't get to see other people's fish, I would just sit here and get, you know, eventually the same species will get old, and you're always kind of looking for new species to keep. And what better way to find some inspiration other than look at other people's fish? So I figure maybe my fish serve the same purpose for others. I'm not sure, but I really like to when other people post their fish. It's what gives me ideas on what species to keep again, or keep, you know, in the future for my list. Chris said, how large is your male right there? Well, this guy on the left here, right there, he's definitely the biggest one. I would say probably 8 to 9 inches. He's growing more tall than lengthwise lately. Let's try to get in on him. Yeah, he's definitely putting on some size since I got him out of that community. You know, in that 180 community I had a lot of these guys, and it was tough to, you know, the amount of waste that those fish produce, the 6 to 8 inch fish that were in there, makes it really tough to, you know, you kind of got to feed them sparingly unless you want to do just tons of water changes on that tank. And I don't have any canister filters or anything like that. I run a couple Aqua Clear 110s and sponge filters on that 180. But once I moved him over here into this 150 with just his female, he really started putting on some size. So I would say that 8-9 inch range. You know, something recently, after I pulled the last batch of fry from these guys, excuse me, I'll go to them real quick. This batch of fry right here. After I pulled these guys, it's kind of odd. Both groups, well, I covered this previously. This female went into breeding dress and instantly thought that those were her fry, which they're not. You could see her just glass banging here. Doesn't like the finger. But both pairs got a little bit shy. You could see that this male is hiding back there. Normally doesn't do that. and they both stopped eating. Not really focused on eating right now. And I've had that happen with these Carpentis before. When I moved that 180 gallon, the position of that tank, I had these guys out of that tank up for hour and a half, 2 hours while I did the move. And it took them a good 2 weeks before they started eating. So they get moody, I guess, in that way. Maybe pulling that batch of fry was enough to change their habits, and now they haven't been hungry. So kind of weird, but you would never tell. Activity wise, they seem to be doing fine. So I hope that answers your question. It was a simple question, but yeah, that's the one on the left. So Chris said the ones he got from Me the Fry are in the 2 to 3 inch range. That's awesome. How are their colors coming in, Chris? And do you ever post a YouTube video of them? I'd love to check them out. JT here. What's up, man? What did you miss so far? JT, you didn't miss a lot. We still haven't moved tanks. We're just looking at the Blue Texas right now. Kind of covered the basics of what we do in these live videos, which is just anything goes. And feel free to ask any questions. There's the mail. The other mail came out. Feel free to ask any questions. Request to see any fish here that you want at all times. I'm more than happy to move around. And we'll just talk about anything. It's a networking kind of group video for everyone. It's not just about my fish, although we got to look at something. So while we're here, we'll take a look at what I got in my fish room going on. But just don't be shy. Speak up. Ask questions. Network with other people also in the chat. That's a really good thing. Sometimes we get other people who have fish to offer, and you can get in contact with them. Leave emails, guys, if you want them to, or shout out your channel. Anything goes. Chris said yes. Love it. I'm just referring to the questions. Sorry, I'm lagged behind here, guys. I check my comments every now and then. They don't show up on the screen. Automatically have to go and scroll through them. But Chris, I think he got some Carpentis fry off this guy here on the left, and he said they're doing great. They're now in the 2 to 3 inch size, and sounds like they're coloring up, so he's enjoying them. Great species to keep. All right, so Jared said, how's the new Motas doing? Well, I'm glad you asked, Jared. That's actually one of the things I just changed. I've been working on this week. I finally got them out of quarantine, and the only quarantine tank I could give to the Motas was a 60 gallon, which is a good size, but out of the 8 that I had received, my buddy Eric, he shows up to these every now and then. He gave me a really nice bigger male, and then I had, I think, 7 others smaller, and I was just hoping to get multiple sexes, and I had a couple deaths in there. The smaller guys got beat up, and everybody who knows Motas knows they're really aggressive. So I had to speed up the process. I split them up. I got the male separate than the remaining 5 fish, which I'll show right now. So let me zoom in a little bit. So there's one of them. And if you guys know, Mota's a little bit on the skittish side, so I'm going to have to move very stealthy here. That's how the smaller ones are looking right now. They're in that size range, fattening them up, and yeah, you'll see some updates when these guys start showing off. I'd say they're in that 3-inch range on average, and I really just need a couple nice females to show, and then I'll add the big boy. This is a 100-gallon tank, so we'll see if we could see the big boy here. Can we get in close? This guy's gonna be a little shy because the garage is open, but he's right down there. Let's see if he swims by here. I think he's gonna be really nice. I'm really treating him well down here right now while he in this 60-gallon to prepare him. I actually really prefer to have a much bigger male with this species. Some of my last pairs, the females are just absolutely relentless, especially breeding time on the males. One of my biggest pairs where I had a 12-inch male, female was, maybe 8 inches, and man, she just picked on him like nothing. Another pair that I kept, the female would, they were very similar in size, I guess. Maybe that was the wrong thing. But that female would pick on the male's tail, and his tail was always shredded, so I have to divide him and let him heal up, and it was just, it was terrible. I didn't like that, So female motas are just incredibly aggressive, I think. And I'm sure it could go the other way too, with the wrong male. But that's the guy, and as soon as I'm ready, I'll start introducing, and then we'll hopefully see some update videos there. Hope that answered your question. Put this back in the tripod. What's up, Dwight? Dwight Burke is in the house. Hope everything's going well, Dwight. Thanks for stopping by. How's your Sunday? How's the fish? Chris said, great color, man. Not posted yet. We'll update you. And I think Chris is referring to his Carpentis fry that he got from me, and they're in that 2 to 3 inch range. So that's awesome, man. Looking forward to seeing them. Ginger Dan's here. What's up, Ginger Dan? Welcome back. Ginger is the example of kind of what I love to see. He asks a lot of questions and requests a lot, and that's what this is all about here. So guys, don't be shy. Ginger wants to see the Festae, so of course we can see the Festae. Let's go over there. Well, actually, which Festae? We actually, before I get to the wild-caught parents, let's try to zoom in here on the fry. I started a series on these Festae fry, and see if I can get in here. Festae are slow growers, and so this video is going to be drawn out, my grow out series, but when not on a live video, you'll see a lot of red on their fins. I'm sure it does not look good right now through this live video format, but there's some of the F1 grow outs. There's a Braziliensis, the one Braziliensis in this tank. But yeah, I'm excited about these guys. See what comes out of these F1s. Hopefully a nice big male for myself, as I got rid of that big wild-caught male. I don't know if you guys follow my channel or my social medias, but got rid of that big wild-caught male, and these are fry off of him. So I'm looking to replace with a big son of his. So But let's get to the Wildcats here. So we'll get in close. All right. So this is now my biggest male, my best breeder. And female's back there. I did just siphon all of their fry this week. They had a small batch, and I probably should have left half of them, but I had so few this batch that I got all of them out, and then changed the mood a little bit there. So keeping an eye on the situation. I think the male might have been a little bit rough on the female, because she's usually hanging in her spot on the left, being protective, holding her own, but she's definitely acting differently. So with Festae, it can go south real fast. Yeah, you can see he's just got the clear upper hand right now, and she's yeah, definitely monitoring this situation very closely. But he's doing good. On the other side, you know, in that space where the male number 1 was, the big male that I moved out, he had 3 females, and we're gonna go over there right now because he's gone. And I moved that smallest male down here that I really liked, but he was smaller than those 2 females that were over here, and so that didn't work very long. I immediately removed them. But I do have 2 smaller females, Wildcats as well, which he's in with, and they've been kind of fighting over dominance. That one right there is the one I think he's bred with in the past, and hopefully they pick back up. But yeah, here's the male. Not as, or he is a little bit more difficult than the male on the left, but got to give him some time to get comfortable over here. He's not as shy as that big male was. He's a good breeder. He has really good bars. So we'll see. Hopefully working off of these, a pair will form here, I hope, soon. And we'll get F1s from both of these pairs for the future, is the hope. So back to male number, my favorite male. Anyways, let's check the comments here. Ginger Dan, I hope that satisfied your request there for the Festae. Yeah, usually that female over here is right up front and center and in your face, guarding the fry in the breeder box up here. These fry actually have not started free swimming yet. Almost time for liftoff. But you can see how it's much smaller batch here. So I kind of just siphoned all of them, not thinking about the lessons I've learned in the past, which I always try to leave some, but I forgot. So anyways, now I gotta follow this pair, what they're doing. JT here said, are there any other fish you are looking out for that you want to keep in the future? Yeah, you know, I think we all have kind of a list of stuff that, you know, when it becomes made available, you know, in the hobby, there she is, she's going back to her normal routine. Fish that becomes available, you know, that might not be available now. I definitely have those, and then there's some that may be available currently. It's just not a priority on, you know, with the limited amount of tanks most of us have. So there's definitely some species like that for me. You know, I like to keep, you know, mostly what I like, you know, and that's not, you know, I try to classify in 2 different groups, you know, stuff I'm experimenting with to see if I like them, you know, and then stuff that I've kept and I know that I like. And that's kind of one of the, where the motas fall into play. You know, the motas are not nothing, they're not rare, they're very common species, but I really like them. And I got out of them not too long ago. And then I recently, you know, I kind of regretted it, but I kept them for a while, breeded them for a while. And then my buddy had an opportunity of a different collection point, the Rio Motagua or Motagua, and they're F1s. And so I said, hey, you know, he's got some, I have a chance of getting them. I kind of missed the motas, so I jumped on them. So that's how that came about. You know, there's other species I would like to keep someday, kind of the experimental, try them to see if I like them. And, you know, there's probably quite a few on that list, you know, and there's going to be a lot that jump onto that list at some point. So, yeah, I think like all of us, there's always stuff we want to try. And, you know, with limited tank space, only so much we can do. You know, and then especially I'm focusing on breeding, and so at any given time I'll probably have about 60 to 70% of my tanks are full with fry, right, for distributing, and you know, because I love breeding. So you know, that only allows how many new species you can try, you know, because I always want to do them in a group. I always want to try to breed them. That's what's most fun for me. You know, I don't just get a single fish here, single fish there, and, you know, new species and throw them in a community. So I don't do that too often. And so, you know, one of the requirements for me to try a new species would be that I can get a, you know, a reasonable group, you know, and then of course price is a factor. You know, if I can't, it's hard to afford stuff that, you know, is very rare, and the price that comes with those fish that are really rare is obviously going to be high, you know, because where else can you find them? And so I don't know, I don't oftentimes jump right all over those, you know. I might wait for them to be in the hobby a little bit and maybe get some F1s instead, but there's plenty on the list that I would like to keep. So next, Jared said, very excited to see the new location of red tiger and how they turn out. Yeah, I'm excited too, man. I'm not even sure how red they get, you know, and that's always kind of been my preference. I know there's sometimes the red tiger motas females don't get so much red. They get more orangish or maybe more of a yellowish coloration, and that's all a preference thing, obviously. But for me, my preference is, you know, red color. And I have seen the wild caught parents, and the female was really red. So I think they'll have potential. We'll see how they turn out. But you'll definitely see here if you guys follow the channel. I'm not shy about sharing my fish. So Ginger Dan said, stunning fish, bro. Thank you. Amazing color. Thank you very much, Ginger. And let me know what you want to see next. We're just sitting on the Festae right now until someone throws an idea or a request. Samaj Nacho, happy to see the Mota back in here. Hey man, thank you very much, and welcome, and thanks for stopping by for the live video. Yeah, I'm happy to see the Motas back here also. You know, maybe that when I lost that big male, maybe that took away my, you know, my enthusiasm about the species. You know, because I always had, I think, 2 breeding pairs, and then I lost that big male, and I believe the big male has just kind of got picked on by that female over time, and then I kind of said, hey, let me move on and try other stuff. But you know, I don't think I'm sick of them yet. You know, I still want to keep them. So we'll see how that goes. you know, your mood can always change with your fish and what you want to keep. So we'll see. What are you guys doing over here? I think this male actually has more spangles, this male on the right, on the fins than the male on the left. Bars are both, I think, really good. We'll see profile-wise if this guy starts to develop. I think this guy is definitely starting to get a little taller, a little bit of a nuchal forming. And he's not shy. Festae wise, Festae in general are shy, as most of you guys know, but we'll see. What do you guys want to see next? Come on. Mar Gill, what's up, man? Thanks for stopping by. You asked where can I find that flower pot? Now, which flower pot are you referring to? I'm guessing you're referring to this one right here, as opposed to this one, but I'll cover all of them. So this pot right here, they are tough to find. I found them various places, but Amazon would be one place that I've purchased those in the past. And what you got to search for to find those kind of slanted opening pots is fallen terracotta pot. So fallen. I guess the bottom kind of sits up sideways on a wall. They're really meant to sit on a wall and have kind of, I think, plants or strawberries kind of hanging out over them. And so for whatever reason they call them fallen terracotta pots, and I have purchased them on Amazon before. And some places you can find them in pottery shops, but usually they don't carry them. So they're kind of tough to find. If you're talking about this pot right here, that's a strawberry pot. Pretty common. I'd say semi-common. You can find them at a lot of places. Actually, I think Home Depot has had them before, and even Walmart, I found them. So those sit upright in those little side holes. That's where the strawberries come out of. So I think they're strawberry pots. And then if you're referring to this one, it's actually not a pot. It's a tube. It's a clay piping tube. And I really like those because I use them for two purposes. I used to have umbies back in the day, and that's when I discovered how useful they were. Basically, those tubes are made of clay, right? And I had the female umbie could fit in the clay tube, while the male umbie was too big. And so that really helped the female go for cover, and the male couldn't kill her because she'd always seek refuge in that clay tube. Also, she would spawn on top of the tube. And so that was kind of their dual purpose clay tube that I really liked. And so, but the problem with these things, they're incredibly hard to find. So when I first got my one or two of them way back, I got them from a guy who was selling some fish stuff. I figured, hey, why not try them out? I loved them. After that, I couldn't find them, and because he got them used on Craigslist or from someone else too. So I at that point I didn't know where I could get more, but I later, doing some research, I had to go to a wholesale plumbing supply company, and I guess these are used for plumbing in the ground, and they come in long increments. The shortest increment I could find was like 5 or 6 feet. And so it ended up being really cheap, only like $30, I think. It was a while ago for 5 or 6 feet. And then the next thing I had to get it cut. So I had a contractor, and I asked him if he could do it. He did it very easily. And so I cut like 5 or 6 segments. These things are great. Long tube. I'm actually using it to press up against a divider so it doesn't get pushed over. Also, it's where a fish can hide or even spawn on top of. So they're one of my favorite things to use. You know, you could use like the plastic plumbing stuff at Home Depot, but these things are heavier. They'll sit there and able to prop up stuff against them easier, and the material they like to spawn on. So go look those up. Hope that answered your question, Margot. Jose, what's up, man? Thanks for stopping by. Jose said, I keep the RTM from Rio Blanco. I was thinking about getting rid of them, and I'm glad that I decided to keep them. Looking great, fish, man. Great looking fish, man. Can we get an update on the Multifaceted? Yes. And glad to hear you're keeping your RTMs. Rio Blancos are amazing. That's what I kept for many years. And let's go to the Multifaceted. Thanks for asking. Sounds like you're a Parachromis guy, Jose. So if you guys follow, you know that the Multifaceted like this bottom tank. They like no substrate, and you know it's odd to say, but they like you know, not as clean of water, I guess you could say, when it comes to breeding especially. So who knows why that is, but my buddy, he had them for a year or so, and he figured that out, because I could not get him to breed for the life of me. And that was the trick, was to ignore water changes, to not go so crazy on your maintenance, and that, you know, and to have no gravel, and they like to spawn on the ground. So let's try to get this guy to move around a little bit so you can see him a little better. He wants a piece of that, doesn't he? He's trying to decide between the camera and my finger what he hates more. I thought this, ooh, yeah, he doesn't like the camera, I guess, the most. So I thought they were going to actually spawn again on the right corner, and they've definitely slowed down a little bit. I mean, this male, if I had to guess, he's got to be in that 7 to 10 year range as far as age. He's an older wild-caught male. Pantanos de Centla, I think it is the collection point. And, you know, that female may be in the 3 to 4 year age. But I couldn't be happier. You know, most of the Parachromis, especially Motas, so skittish when it comes to me and cleaning the tank, going up to the tank. These Multifaceted have been anything but skittish and shy. Look at that guy, just tried to, as you can see, they're not shy at all, and they don't have any fry in the tank or anything. So this guy's, that's just his attitude. Great fish. I actually have his fry available right now if anybody's interested. They're on the small size, but definitely shippable. And it looks like I'm going to be getting less and less of these fry, because they haven't not been pumping them out. I could tell you that. So who knows how much longer? You never know, right? Maybe she'll drop another batch. We'll see. So hope that's a good update for you, Jose, and anybody else interested. Let's check the comments here. Jose said, what is the largest that the Multifaceted can attain in your experience? Well, you know, I never try to think I know or act like I know, and I really don't know most cases that you know, how big a cichlid can get. But I'm pretty confident with my experience here that this species is probably not going to get much bigger than 12 inches. I'm sure there's different examples, but I've had this male and he's been right around that length, 12. You know, perhaps he could be 12 and a half right now. I really don't know. But I measured him maybe 6 to 8 months ago, or 6 months ago, I'm not sure. And he was right at that 12-inch length. He's just growing more in girth and size, but not length so much. So, you know, have there been multifasciatus that have gotten to 13, maybe 14 inches? Probably. Not sure anybody has any examples like that, but this guy's really has not grown lengthwise much in year or 2 years, you know. So he might be close to his max length. Eli's Wild Living, how you doing, man? Thanks for stopping by. I'm guessing your True Green Terror is a request to see, to check them out. So let me give it a second here, and then we'll move over. Hopefully I'll get in there without, you know, the fish being too skittish. And I did actually lose a Stalsbergie this week. I'll cover that here in a second. Let me turn this guy's light off. All right, so let's go to the Green Terrors or the Stalsbergie. These guys are always on the more skittish side. All right, so I've had it happen one other time early on when I had this batch, this group. Basically, it was duck lip. So I've now had 2 of my wild caughts succumb to duck lip, and you know, I didn't get to observe this last one. I saw it kind of when it was a little bit developed, but the first one, you know, it was actually my dominant male at that time, early on, before I had gotten any spawns from this species. It was just started with like a little nick on the lip, and just the smallest little nick, and sure enough, it developed into duck lip. I was treating it, and I couldn't do anything. It was, you know, if anybody's had duck lip before on any of their fish, you know, it's really hard to stop it, and it's actually quite devastating, almost scary. It's I guess kind of, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think when I read about it, it's definitely like kind of like a flesh-eating bacteria type thing, and basically his face disintegrated, started disappearing, and it's kind of sad to watch. You kind of have to put the fish down. That was bad, and then I had one this week, the same thing. So the wild caught group is getting smaller and smaller. I think I'm down to only 8 of them now. And so, you know, Stalsbergie has always been a fish that I've wanted to keep for many years, maybe 5 or 6 years before I finally got him. I was always a little scared, more so because I thought sensitivities such as bloat and internal issues was, you know, would be my downfall. But I really haven't had any of them die to internal issues, although I've had the, you know, the white stringy poops and dealt with that. If you guys follow my videos, you know I've talked about that a lot in the past. But what seems to be more of a killer, how I've lost more of mine, has been, you know, you got to have just a lids almost airtight on the top of your tank, because these things are jumpers. And I had the male, I believe, he chased down 2 other bigger males, and they eventually jumped out of the tank, and I found them dead. So that's 100% on me. But in all my other cichlids, I've never had that happen. So, and I I didn't neglect the lids any more than any other tanks. So that would be one, my first learning experience with the species. The other one is the duck lip. And you know, I've had duck lip, or I've heard that duck lip is kind of common on, you know, other species such as Festae or umbies. And in all the Festae I've kept, I've not experienced that once. In the umbies that I kept many years ago, I've also have not had that happen a single time. So twice in Stalsbergie in the short time I've kept them. So go figure. I don't know if it's something with the species or it's just bad luck. That's my experience with the Stalsbergie so far. However, it is pretty cool because a lot of their fry are doing really well in other people's tanks. I know that because they're always giving me updates, and their F1s are looking really good. And some of them are getting to that 3 to 4 inch size. So if you guys are interested in Stalsbergie, I highly recommend them. I have fry available. So feel free to message me, guys. Facebook page, Instagram, or even leave me your email in the comments and I'll get with you. So Eli, thank you for requesting that. Ginger Dan said, how was your experience with umbies? Why did you stop keeping them? That's a good question. Well, I really like the umbies, actually. I love breeding them. I love keeping them. And at the time, I had mine in a 180-gallon tank, my pair, at the very end. And in, I think, less than 2 years, the male had gone from an inch to 18 inches. Growth rate was just astronomical. And I felt for me that, I'm going to move over here, guys. My shoulder's getting tired as heck. So, like I was saying, I felt for me that the size of the umbie at the growth rate, I know it would have slowed down a little bit, but you know, the fish that they get over 20 inches, you know, maybe 2 feet, I just did not have a tank big enough to keep them, in my opinion. That I could have given them the 240-gallon tank, but the width is still the same as the 180. So for me, it wasn't the length of the tank. It was kind of the footprint and more the width. You know, I would watch that 18-inch male swim around and, you know, run into my intake, filter intakes, my heaters, and I've even had a guy that I knew way back who their big umbie busted a seal of their tank and started leaking. You know, so they're really big fish, and for me, I always said I will keep them again someday if I get a big enough tank, which to me means at least 30 inches wide, hopefully 36 inches wide, and so that's where I've talked about it. I want to get that 300-gallon, 6 foot by 3 feet front to back by maybe 30 inches tall would be exactly what I want. And I think I could comfortably do umbies in that tank. So that's the reason I got out of them. It had nothing to do with me not liking them. I really liked them. And if I could keep them again, I'd probably go with some Rio Magdalena umbies. If I had the choice, well, actually, it's the most common variant out there, so I don't think it would be hard to find. But if I could really find that that portion that kind of gets the bronze copper face, or even somewhat reddish face, that to me would be awesome. I would love to keep those again someday. And of course I could do it now. I could start and get some fry, and I would really enjoy them. I love to watch that coloring process and the pairing process, you know, at that 4 to 8 inch range. And it would be amazing. It would be great video. However, less than 2 years of time, I would just run into the same problem where I just don't have a big enough tank, you know, in my opinion, to keep them. You know, the biggest I can give them would be a 240 gallon. It's just 2 feet wide. It's just not, it's not ideal. It's not what I would feel comfortable with. So I'll get them again someday, guys. I just have to, I have to get my tank, my 300 gallon. So we'll see how that goes. Crew of Bulls. What's up, man? Thanks for stopping by. Can you show the parents of the fry you currently have of the Festae? Hoping to put my order in today. It's hey man, how you doing? Yeah, I could definitely show you. It's my favorite pair. We actually just saw them a second ago, but let's go back to them. And you could go look at my my videos, but here's the wild caught male, and I explained this in the beginning, but I just pulled their latest batch of fry, and they're in the breeder box right now. And I shouldn't have pulled all of them because I think the male went a little hard on the female. Female's hiding back there. She's normally not doing that. She's usually kind of aggressive up by this breeder box up here where the fry are. Here she comes a little bit. But if you really want to get a glimpse of the pair, I think if you just go to my, my YouTube front, the main page or the profile, I have like a Festae update video in there of this pair. And that's like, I think displayed, it's pinned to the page. So if you really want to see the beauty of the color, because this live video is not showing any colors, I could tell you that. They take down the coloration of what's, for the video. But if you really want to see this pair, go check out that video. But it's, to me, it's one of the best pairs I've kept. So I think their fry are going to be great. And the fry are down in that 75 gallon. They're, I'd say most of them are that 3/4 of an inch plus size range. Some smaller, but yeah. And I know I get a lot of guys asking me, they want bigger size of those fry. And I really wish I would have them available for you guys. The problem is those fry keep moving. And so whenever I move their fry, I always try to get the biggest of the batch. It helps, it helps you. I'm sure everybody will want to have bigger starting size for Festae that take a little bit longer to grow. But for me as well, so we don't have those big examples of fry that grow and start killing off all the rest of them. So anyways, this is the pair, Felix. I know you're asking about them. Which pair had the fry were available from. So all right, what's next, guys? Speak up. What do you want to see? All we've taken a look at are the green terrors, the Festae, and the oh, we looked at the RTMs too, right? But I'll start moving around if let me on. Oh, Jared asks, how are the Braziliensis doing outside? Jared, I would go see them. However, I keep my ponds covered, and so they'll be extremely skittish if I go take a look at them. But I check them. I check on them every 2 days, I think, and they seem to be taking to the outdoors pretty well. It's temperature-wise, it's there's a few days of where it gets a little cooler and then it warms back up. Here in Southern California, it's not quite ready for winter. I guess Southern California never gets a true winter. But it does get cooler, and the water during the winter outdoors will get to that low 50s, high 40s occasionally, and I think they're going to be fine. I hope they're going to be fine. So the biggest difference for me is that pair that I moved, that was out there for a year and a half, is only the 2 fish. Now I got 10 fish out there. So I have to really control my feeding and, you know, do more water changes in that 300-gallon pond. I got to do my part, you know, if I want to make it work. So, but I needed to cool them down, I felt. And then maybe in a year, maybe 2 years, I'll bring them back inside. So, Braziliensis are good. Thank you for bringing that up. And I also have Braziliensis fry, guys, if you are interested. All right, what's next? Crew of bulls. Yeah, we get to go check out the blue Texas here. We've been looking at them a little bit. This time I'll actually get in closer for you. Let's see. There we go. The bigger of the 2 males. Second male on the right, but 2 pairs. It's kind of an incredible species. I just hard to get sick of this species. It's so colorful. You know, they're just a very manageable size too. You know, I got these pairs divided in a 150 gallon, so that kind of tells you, you know, surface area. I'd say it's not the optimal size for a pair. You know, I would love to have, you know, at least a minimum 4 feet length, but they do have the 24 inches width, which is going for them. And what's really helping them is the pairs being divided so they can focus on each other and not kill their females. Knock on wood, because I've had females get destroyed within hours of not checking them out. So I hope that doesn't happen to me again here. Yeah. Foster parents in the works. They got their these fry on this breeder box above their section are not theirs. They're actually from the other pair on the left. That's primarily who I pull fry from. I don't really pull from this side. I haven't had to. Plus, I'd rather pull from the bigger male. I like his profile a little bit better. Yes, blue Texas, I believe, is the common name. Oh, sorry. Crew of bulls, you were asking to see blue Texas. I just saw that as a question. Yeah, man, the Festae are great. It's if you follow my channel, you know it's the one species I keep the most of. I go all out on Festae. It's definitely my favorite species. You know, and it's anybody who's kept Festae will tell you that Festae require more patience and slower growers and a little bit more shy, and you know, everything that'll just, so many things will kind of make you want to give up a little bit. It's not just so easy. Like Carpentis, I would say, are easy, in my opinion. Easy in the fact that you're going to get colored up fish a lot earlier. You know, 1.5 inches, 2 inches, you're going to have color, blue color on the fry. You know, they could pair up small, 4 inches maybe, and spawn at that size. I've never had a Festae pair spawn smaller than, I think, 6 inches. And, you know, the Festae take longer to grow. And so for that reason, I love the challenge, the little bit more challenge aspect of Festae. Don't get me wrong, I don't think they're not the highest degree of difficulty, and they're not the slowest growers. I'd say Japhirum, for me, have been the slowest growing species I've ever kept. Gramotes being the second slowest, but Festae are not fast growers by any means. So, T-Max, what's up, man? Thanks for stopping by. And yes, we're checking out the Carpentis right now. But, you know, anybody who just showed up, let me know what you want to see in the fish room. Don't be shy. Where'd Ginger Dan go? Ginger Dan was asking all kinds of stuff, and I love that. So, Kevin's here. What's up, guys? Hey, I got to give a big shout out to my buddy Kevin, Tangle Up in Cichlids, guys. I don't think he needs any introduction. I mean, you guys all probably know who he is. In my opinion, the best source to get the New World cichlids here in the United States. Go check out tangleupincichlids.com. Check out all the amazing fish he's got. And he does a lot of cool things and new species he brings in that are never available, and all kinds of opportunities there. So I have to give a shout out for Kevin there. Doing some good things. And that's awesome, man, that you stopped by. I really appreciate it. And Kevin, I don't know if you've ever been to one of these or not. You haven't commented that I've seen in the past. You know, these aren't just about my fish, although we have to look at something. So we're looking at my fish, but it's more for networking. You know, Eric last week was in one of these, and we connected him with a few other guys who were looking for different species, and Eric had them, or he was bringing them in soon. And so feel free to use this, you know, kind of networking time, I like to, you know, put it, and you could announce anything you got coming in. Any of the other people in this chat, ask Kevin, you know, what if you have questions, what he's got. Maybe you don't know what his website is. Maybe Kevin could put that, you know, up here in the comments, because this video will be stored and the comments will remain indefinitely. So anybody watching this video after it's done will see that. So Kevin, don't be shy. Put up your website, and if you ever want to mention anything you got in the works coming in, stuff that's hot, go ahead and mention it. He said, what did Kevin say? Stock list is weak this week. Yeah, I'm sure you're being modest. Your stock list is... I go through your stock list weekly, by the way, although I haven't had to order anything in a while. I think, Kevin, you know, funny as it is, I think the last thing I ordered from Tangle Up Cichlids was with Jeff. I think they were yellow Labradins a while ago. I didn't do too well with them. I amateur move, probably I messed that one up, but it's been a while. So I know what Kevin wants to see. Kevin wants to see the Panamensis. I have a feeling. So, and everything's open, guys. If we want to see any of the fish in here, just let me know. Anything you guys want to talk about. Jose said, thank you for the information on the Paragramus. I am a Paragramus guy for sure. I am in Canada and got my Paragramus from Cichlids of the Americas. Have you gotten any fish there? Yeah, I have gotten fish from CODA, I think is the acronym in the past. Yeah, and he's got good fish too, man. I personally, for me, everybody's got a different opinion. I tangle up in cichlids. Kevin, he's right here in this chat. He has great support. You know, you have questions, he answers them. That to me is invaluable, and the quality of fish he has, second to none. So that would be my personal preference. But yeah, there are other sources, definitely, and they have nice fish too. So Kevin's first time here. I'm never on here. We'll have to change that. Frontosa Arowana, what's up, man? Thanks for stopping by. Would you ever think about expanding with different geos? Yeah, you know what? Actually, I don't know if you've checked out that video where I did at my buddy's place, Mike's Cichlids. Might have been like 3-4 weeks ago. I did like a fish room update at his house. And he's newer to cichlids. I kind of give him I give a little summary of his situation. He's new to cichlids, but he really was drawn to the geophagus. And, you know, I offered him all the fish I have naturally. I've known the guy since I was like 2 years old or something. But no, he wanted geophagus, and that's a genus that I don't really focus on. And he's got some real beautiful geophagus Sveni. He's got Altifrons, and I think he has a redhead Tapaho in there. I love watching his tank. He's got them in a 125, and they look amazing. So I would definitely, and I have considered before in the past, looking into Sveni. There were others, and they're not. I'm not the most knowledgeable at all on any of those species, but yeah, I would definitely want to get into those more heavily at some point. The only geophagus, as you know, and it's not, I guess, your typical geophagus, is the Braziliensis, and you know, those are really aggressive. And so I've kind of had to do them in a group, a colony, and still the fish kind of get a little shredded by the dominant male. But I would definitely look into the geophagus more in the future. Good question. So many fish on the list, never enough tanks to keep them all, right? Jose said, I keep RTM and a young pair of Multifaceted and one Motaguensis. Have you kept jaguars before? You know, Jose, funny enough, when I was little, you know, I think when I was 10 years old, I mentioned it before, the Oscar and convicts and Texas cichlids were the three growing up in my parents' house, you know. I got to have like 3 tanks. Those are the 3 that I started out with. My brother, actually, he got jaguar. So I've never actually kept jaguars myself. And man, I've definitely seen their aggression, and they're a cool fish. Of course, when we were young and the knowledge back then, we weren't given the proper information. We didn't have the proper tank sizes and whatnot. So my brother's jaguar, man, I think that thing was just like in a 20-gallon tank for his whole life. And was always like jumping up, hitting the lid of the tank. I don't know, maybe the nitrates were too high, and you know, definitely when we were young, we didn't know how to keep the cichlids to the level they needed to be. But yeah, I would keep jags someday. You know, it's probably my number. I'm trying to rank my Parachromis. The Freddies or the Multifaceted and the Motas would be the first 2. And after that, I guess it would be the jaguars I would keep. So Kevin said, I was expecting a plane to last early this AM. It never took off, so was changed to next week. Then no flights available, so it's not coming at all, which led to downtime for once. Well, hey man, You work incredibly difficult hours from what I've seen and what you've told me. So maybe getting a break isn't such a bad thing. But sorry to hear about that. I know you rely on that as a business owner. So, Rob's Aquarium Room. What's up, Rob? Thank you for stopping by. Really appreciate it. Yeah, Frontosa Arowana, check out that video. I posted it on my channel, obviously. He doesn't post updates of his fish, so I had to go over there and take the updates myself and make a video. But Willie Strawman, yeah, hey man, yeah. So I'm glad shared some information. Hopefully, actually not hopefully. I know it's going to serve you good. Get in touch with Kevin. Tangle Up in Cichlids. Check out his stock list. I'm going to move around here, guys, but tell me if you want to see something different. I'm going to see what's out and about for viewing purposes. The Aqua Papa, what's up, man? The Aqua Papa. Love the name. Let's go check. Now, this trimac, let's see how he's looking. If you guys know, yeah, there you go. This guy's colors really kind of went down a little bit after I removed that second male. They really like to have, I think, another male, whether it be a trimac or another amphilophus or something, to flare up against. And you could see their colors just really coming out when that happens. So yeah, I did move the female back over here. She's over there, and you know, she was in the community, and I drilled a ton more holes in the divider. I said, hey, while they're in the same tank divided for right now, might as well give them a shot to breathe through the dividers. So, but anyways, coloration wise, not looking anything like before, but I think it has a lot to do with the mood. Hopefully I'll get a one of his offspring, a male, and I'll put him divided in here with him and get to see them both develop and flare up. So we'll see, guys. All right. The Aqua Papa says, thanks, man. I'm doing good. Hope y'all are doing well. He just had a trimac breed. He's stoked. Awesome, man. Congrats on the trimac spawn. Yeah, maybe not the best. But Kevin, I know you've been asking about these. So let's see if we can get in close to the Motaguensis for you. All right. You know, I'll do a separate video. Oh, you know what's happening, Kevin? Kevin, there's a pair. I think that pair is forming, and they are digging a pit out of in the corner of that tank. The big male and the female, they've been just removing all the sand in that corner. Occasionally, actually more and more, I see them together. But I'll do another update video on these soon, I think, especially if that happens. But fingers crossed, maybe a Motaguensis spawn could be in the future. I don't know. There's the big male. Come on, turn. Yeah. extra male, I think, but great species. You know, I didn't really have them on my list, you know, that I wanted. I was gonna definitely seek and target, but I had a friend who offered 5 of them, and I said, hey, why not? You know, I was getting macula pinnis anyways, and said, hey, I think I could just grow them out together. They've done well so far. And again, this species doesn't record very well for video, especially not a live video. But in person, man, they've just got this kind of greenish, this sheen on them, these spangles. They just look awesome. Really happy with them, and they stay small too. And these macula pinnis also, I'm really liking them. That's the big male. I think it's a male. Anyways, let's see. Any requests? Any requests? That's what I'm waiting on. That's an incredible fish, trimacs. Yeah, trimacs are amazing to watch, man. They get so big and so fast, I've experienced, because I didn't really focus on keeping them till this year, and I've only kept them for about 7-8 months, actually. It's funny. I was just looking back to see when I got those original 3 to 4 inch trimacs, and that was about 7-8 months ago. So that big male is about 11 inches plus. So that tells you the time, the growth rate right there of a male, at least. The females stayed a lot smaller, but so Kevin, here's a tangle up in cichlids. Kevin said, put a small mirror on one end of the tank. It'll color him up and make him think he needs to stake the female for breeding. Oh, okay, so you're talking about the trimacs, I'm guessing. That's a really good idea. You know what? I think I have a mirror right now. I wonder if he would react to that if I put that there this second. Hold on, guys. Where'd that mirror go? I think I had a mirror down here. I think I do. All right. All right, guys. You're going to see this in action if it works. Maybe it takes a while. Let's put this mirror right here. So I got the mirror on the side. He's actually looking at it, flaring a little bit. I'll just leave this right here. I'm gonna leave the mirror. Yeah, he's looking at this mirror. It's kind of funny. I gotta get a bigger one, but for right now, we'll just leave that. See what happens. Thanks for the advice, Kevin. I'll report back and let you know how it goes. Jose said, great trimacs. Thank you, man. Tony, what's up, man? Oh, looks like I got ahead of you, Tony. I just caught up to your comment. You said, let's see an update on the Therictis Elliot or macula pinnis. Yeah, they're I think they're doing good. You know, the colors aren't coming through this live video that well, but I'm liking them. And the bigger development in this tank is the Motaguensis. It looks like they may be close. They might be closer to spawning than the. So you can see the pair right there. in the back. They're always hanging out together, this Motaguensis pair. They might be closer to a spawn than the, oh man, I wish I could get this on video for you guys. Not a live video, but a real video and capture the quality. I might have to try to do that tonight. It might be going down here soon. Fingers crossed. Really see some, I guess that would be their breeding dress, I'm assuming. Female's a little bit on the, see a little bit full of her belly. So maybe that's a sign. And they've taken control of kind of the back corner. So, but as far as the Therictis, they're doing good. And I would really like to spawn them too. So I don't know where that big male went, but. All right, what's up next, guys? Talk to me. We'll just start walking around. It's kind of dark over here right now. No elevator. Outside. You know, I got some video of these guys, and I'm going to try to post it this week. But these Altifrons, they look like trash through this live video, but these things really are starting to develop lately. And some of the profiles on some of these, I mean, you probably can't see the colors coming through, but you could see the profile of like that big male right there. The aggression just turned up a lot. And I had some Buenosaurus tetras in there with them for a while, and yeah, they killed one of them. So a lot's changing in this tank, a lot more aggression. So I'll try to get some good video of these guys for a video, because you can't see anything right here. So. And it's kind of dark out here, guys, but like I think there's clouds on top, but I was going to show you this tank, which usually looks really good if there's some sun, some natural light. Not so much right now. There's the Deppy. The Deppy female is still aggressive, same as the male. You know, they're pissed off at me right now because, or maybe they're just guarding a group of their fry up here. I said I wasn't sure if I was going to pull them. I didn't think I wanted to, but you know, I had a bunch of breeder boxes open, so I said, hey, it wouldn't hurt. At a minimum, throw them in there, and if I don't need them, I don't need them. But Deppy fry are growing out, and we have another batch of them that are available, fry size. So if you guys want some F1 Deppy eye, on them. See the comments, guys. The Aquappa said, you ever have your Texas breed in a mixed community setting? Well, yeah, actually, because I was thinking of it. I don't have many Carpentis or Blue Texas left in this community. This is the 180 gallon, which if you go back and watch some of my old video, I started with about 50 of these Carpentis years ago at that 1 to 2 inch size. And maybe it'll help if I go over here. Let's go here. There you go. That's better. So I started about 50 of these guys at the 1 and 2 inch size, and I was growing them out, and I had all kinds of spawning, right? 4 pairs at one time, breeding simultaneously. When they started getting bigger, 6-7 inch size, I really had to start moving some because it just got overcrowded, way too aggressive, and males always fighting over females, switching females. And then I eventually, I got down, I moved the 2 pairs in the other tank that you saw, and I still had a pair left in this tank at that time, and that pair was still spawning with all these other species in here, including the Depii, spawning at the other side. So yeah, these Motaguensis, definitely, I've had them spawn in a mixed community, a very mixed community here. But I since moved that big male that was in here, and I'm down to those only 2 males in the other tank. Lots of Alfari in here, the Cribroheros Alfari. Got like 5 or 6 of them, good size, and actually I am trying to move some of them. I do want to keep one of them just to keep in the community, but I really don't need that many of these size fish. I think most of them are in that 5 to 6 inch size, so I will be moving those. A little firemouth, just a big mix tank here. Got that Synspillum. So, Crew said, how can you tell the difference between a female and male? Is it most of the time the same for all species of fish? No, I mean, obviously each species is going to be a little bit different. You know, some you can tell, some you can't as much, or maybe not at all. You know, I guess the extremes to me would be, I'm trying to think of the best example of species you can tell really easily between sexes, and I would honestly say, you know, Motaguensis or Festae, I think should be easy because they look so different. Especially when you got them in pairs. Just go look back at the Festae portion. The male is completely different look than the female as far as coloration, especially. But you go to the opposite end, you know, maybe Oscars is a good example where I don't even know if you can tell, other than you've seen them spawn and breed, and obviously the one laying the eggs is the female, or you vent. But besides that, I don't know on some of the more difficult species. You know, these Carpentis, I'll admit, you know, it's hard for me to tell when they're all smaller size. You could kind of tell once the development starts being clear, as far as males being, you know, males being more, you know, well, they get bigger for one. So my colony of Carpentis, once I had 50 of them, and that you really start to see a size difference. And so these last 3 Carpentis that are in here are all smaller. I'm saying 5-6 inches. Now, all the males that I had, when I had like 4 or 5 of them, they were all much bigger. They were in that 8 to 9 inch range. And so size was a huge thing. I also, the shape of the face, to me, it looks much different. It's more sloping rather than kind of a nuchal hump, taller profile fish. I'm not sure if I'm saying that accurately. Please correct me, any of you guys, especially Kevin, if you're in here. But to me, those were some of the telltale signs for Carpentis once they got bigger. But however, when they were smaller, 3 inch range and not paired, and I honestly couldn't tell you. So size was an important factor for being able to differentiate, in my opinion. So. And then the other example, the Motaguensis, to me, that's another easy species to tell. You know, the males and females look very different once they start, you know, coloring and changing. Islanum, I think that would be an easy one. I actually didn't see the Asolanum tank, but I actually have grow outs, and I'm going to do an update on the grow out series here soon. But Asolanum to me would be easier, you could say. Daniel Park, what's up, man? Daniel, I believe, is a regular. Shows up to these things. I really appreciate the support, man. The Aqua Papa, yeah, right as expected. Awesome. I just picked up a faded pair of red Texas, hoping the male is fertile, but they are with some other fish. Okay, well, good luck on those, man. I've never actually kept the red Texas, but man, you see the few examples of some amazing ones, and I mean, honestly, they look awesome. It's crazy. The color in those fish, those examples that you see, are just out of this world. Yeah, Daniel. You see Kevin here, Tangle Up in Cichlids. You can communicate with him right now. He's I'm not sure if he's away or if he's still in here, but he was talking a little bit earlier, and I really appreciate him stopping by. So, Ray, what's up, man? Ray Lorenzo said, I got 9 carpets from you back in April. Biggest ones are around 3 inches and really chunky there in the 75 gallon. How much time do you think I have before they become aggressive with each other? Well, Ray, I think my opinion is, they're right around the corner, because I think around that maybe 3 to 4 inch size, 4 inch for a male, 3 inch for female, you might be able to pair up, get a pair, and when that pair forms, is going to be some chaos occurring in there. Now, if maybe the biggest one ends up being a female, or they're just not pairing up, it's going to buy you some more time. The community will work to an extent in that size tank, but once you get that pair, I think you'll be good if you remove the other fish or just observe them, for a while. And once it gets too aggressive, then the group effect will stop working, will stop being as effective once they get too big. And hopefully the pair bond of your, the pair that forms will be good enough. But always keep an eye on that. If I were in your shoes, what I would actually do in a 75 gallon to kind of make that work even better is, if you got that pair to form, I would keep that pair, and then I would do a divider on like a small, maybe 1 foot section of the tank, and have a single second male. That's what I would do. And you would have that male with the pair focusing on that other male more than trying to kill his female. So it's kind of like insurance in a way. And I actually do that in my Festae, my Carpentis. I do that in a lot of my tanks. You can probably notice. For me, it's a little trick that I think has worked really well. Is you get them focusing on a different fish for their aggression, and it even helps both of the pair focus on that fish and strengthen the bond. So I like it. I think it works well. 75 gallon, as far as how much water and you can keep, how clean you can keep the water. You can even add a few silver dollars, like I've done in my 150, although it would be pushing it as far as the bio load. But if you do a lot of water changes, you could probably make it work, and that would even add to the spreading of the aggression to help save your female. So, it's one thing I really have to focus on. I've lost females in the past by just keeping them in a 75 gallon, just that same exact tank, by themselves. They had a batch of fry. They were doing great. Never any aggression towards the female. All of a sudden, come home one day and the female's dead. So it's devastating when you get your pair and that happens. So the Aqua Papa said, thanks man, these guys are really nice. Thank you, appreciate it. Daniel Park said Super Red Texas is on his wish list. Awesome, man. Gotta have the lists, guys, right? Aqua Papa said, sorry for late response. Currently working, no problem. He said, I'm a firm believer in overstocking, even with breeding. If you're breeding anything more than the pair is overstocked. Yeah, if you're breeding anything more than the pair is overstocked. Yeah, I mean, overstocked is, you know, it's kind of a subjective kind of thing. You know, there's no clear rules for what's overstocked or what's the right size tank, you know. So where'd my tripod go? You know, I obviously, like with the African cichlid stuff, you know, they always like to stock a ton of fish in the tank, and I think that really helps with the aggression. And it also works with these species if you have the big enough tank size, you know. But try to fix this, guys. There you go. But yeah, there is the you know, the biggest concern is the water quality. You know, I have my trimacs in a 90 gallon, and I only have 2 of them, and they're divided, and I do twice a week water changes in that tank because that male is big. He eats a lot, you know. I want to continue to see him grow. I have plans for him in a bigger tank someday, and you know, I think the #1 concern would be water quality. 2 is the fish. You know, if they're getting beat up, that's a concern. You know, and you want to have enough space. You know, I get it. And just like with my Umbi example, what I felt, you know, the fish just didn't have enough space in that 180 gallon. So for me, you know, I wanted to wait for a bigger tank to try Umbis again. But, you know, I think we all have our opinions on what size tank we need and how many fish we can put in there, and just try to do your best always, right, to keep the water quality good enough and the health of the fish. It's the most important thing, right? But Ginger Dan said, do you run the fish room on air filters? Yes, actually, and we'll kind of go up to it. So we're gonna look straight up, guys. So not the cleanest look, obviously. You know, my woodmanship has a lot of improvement, but you can see up here is my air pump. I think it's a Alita air pump that I use to run my closed loop PVC system. I believe it's 3/4 inch PVC. It runs around this area here, kind of in that loop, and it's got all of the air lines dropping down from that, and that's basically has sponge filters in every tank, while a lot of the top tanks, and you kind of see overhead, have Aqua Clear 110s on them. So the 180 gallon, the 150 has 2 of them. My 120s have 2 of them. Actually, this 120 has a Tidal, Seachem Tidal 110, which I only got that as a kind of a testing to see the difference between those. You know, and I have my opinion on those filters, but you know, in case someone asks, I'm not gonna start talking about it, but you know, and then even on my 240 right here, would be the largest tank. I have 3 Aqua Clear 110s on there. It's just, to me, Aqua Clears are my favorite filters for hang on the backs. My 100 only has 1, And most of my bottom tanks, actually all of my bottom tanks don't really have any. They're all air and sponge. The bottom tanks I don't do substrate in, and so I feel I can keep them a lot cleaner. You know, I do my water changes on all my tanks with a transfer pump, and it's a 365 gallon transfer pump, and so it really, you know, and I use a straight hose, and so it really takes out all the crap in the tank really fast, and I can keep the bottom tanks pretty clean with sponges. Plus, if I had aqua clears down there on the bottom in the back, it would just be a real pain in the butt. So yeah, I like the aqua clear 110s. I had a few canisters before. I just wasn't thrilled about the maintenance on them. Also, the power consumption was a little higher. And actually, the few of the canisters that I tried, they had some parts that would break down and canisters start leaking, and you know, it's so I preferred the aqua clear 10s. Most of my aqua clear 110s and 500s are really old, and so they are, you know, a lot of people complain about the aqua clears not self-priming and starting up after a power outage or after your water level goes below the intake. They won't start up unless you pour water in the top or something. Mine don't do that. Mine are all fine. And I think it's because the older stuff, the older aqua clear 110s, something must have changed, because I have one newer aqua clear 110 and it's noticeable. It's a little different. The power of it is different. And so I'm not really sure if there was some change made, maybe when Fluval bought them or something like that. But yeah, that's basically it. I know your question was just about the air filter, but yeah, I have one central air filter running. Daniel Park asks if will Aqua Mojo grace us with his presence as well? Yeah, I highly doubt it. You know, I love his fish. The guy's, you know, my channel. Let's be honest, my channel's not very big, guys. You know, I'm blessed to have all of you guys show up, but it's not a very big channel. Maybe in 10 years or something. We'll see. So. Aqua Papa, completely agree. Thank you, man. Yeah, it's just my take on overstocking and water cleanliness. You know, there's no clear lines, you know, of what tank size, what stock, you know, you shouldn't go over or this, that. You kind of have to feel it out yourself. And then everybody's comfortable with a different situation, right? So it's what you're comfortable with, the main concern being the health of the fish, right? So. Yeah, Kevin's kind of old school too. He loves the Aqua Clear 500s, 110 filters. Run them on his personal home tanks. Yeah, man, they're great. I mean, I've yet to have one fail on me, like be done, motor fry out or whatever it may be. You know, I have dropped an impeller on accident, and you know, when one of those little plastic things breaks, you know, it's done. You got to buy a new impeller. I've heard people cracking the housing. I've cracked the lid, but I could still use it with a cracked lid. Those things are just amazing. You know, the longevity of those filters, I think, needs to be considered. You know, at one point, I think I tried those Aqueon 75, you know, their largest, hang on the back. I had 3 new ones. They all burnt out within 6 months. You know, even though you can find them for $30 brand new on Amazon, I think it was. What good does that have? What good does that do if they just burn out on you in 6 months? Plus the media capacity was another issue. It's just terrible compared to the Aqua Clear. Aqua Clear just held so much more media. Yeah, I'll get to it. I wasn't going to get into it. The CCAM title, you see like tons of posts on Facebook about, you know, what's the best hang on the back, and you know, you got your old school Aqua Clear guys, and then you got your you know, people who really like the CCAM title, and you know, honestly, I think it's a filter. The CCAM title is a filter that's a step away from being right there competing with the AquaClear. It's almost as good in my mind, but the one little small thing that it makes it really hard for me to use is the skimmer on the top, because you know sometimes we run our tanks lower, right? I mean, quarantine tanks, you know, what if you have to treat fish with medication? I know Kevin has to deal with that, you know, importing wild caught fish all the time. You got to treat them. And what if you have a 120 gallon and do you want to treat the whole 120 gallons of water, or do you want to treat maybe just 70 gallons of water? Meds cost a lot for me. And so I always like to run the water lower. And well, guess what? Only one filter works when you have the water lower. It's the AquaClear. You know, the CChem, you can't shut off the skimmer at the top, and so you know, the water level has to be right at the top, otherwise it doesn't work. That's one big issue. Two, you know, is, well, let's say you never run the water lower, okay? Do you feed floating foods, flake, you know, brine shrimp? You know, that stuff gets sucked up in the protein skimmer. You know, it's like, it's kind of a pain in the butt. Yeah, you could go turn them off. Well, what if I ran 20 of them in my fish room like I do in my AquaClears? You know, I'm going to be turning it off, and then with one, I forget to turn it back on sometimes, and it's running a day or two or a week without it being on, and I didn't notice. So those are two things. The media basket, it's not quite as much area as the AquaClear. You know, if you put them side by side, you can tell that. You try to fit an AquaClear 110 sponge in the top of a CChem Tidal filter, it's not quite the same size. You have to compress it, right? So media capacity is not quite as big, but I really like the flow of it. I like the flow, how it kind of goes outwards on the surface, not just straight in like the AquaClear. That's really cool. It does have the self-priming thing, and it goes really fast. You know, the AquaClears, my AquaClears will self-prime. Might take them a few. It goes up and down, it finally gets over that bend, and it starts up. The CChem starts right up. So that's really cool. You know, oh, here's a big one. If you do not have the CChem Tidal exactly level or leaning a little bit forward into your tank, once it gets too dirty, overflow around the side, the water dribbles around the side of the filter on back of your tank. I've had that happen multiple occasions. Now, I've heard people say, well, just keep it clean. Well, you shouldn't have to worry about it doing that ever. My AquaClears drain back into the tank when they're too dirty, right over the intake tube, right? There's no way for it to drain on the back of my tank. The Tidal will, and I'll have water all over the floor. It's a mess, just because I didn't have the thing perfectly like level. It was like just a tad leaning, you know, a little bit back. And I figured that out. I don't have that problem, but it shouldn't have that problem in the first place. So that's a design issue in my opinion. So anyways, those are the main reasons I don't like them, you know, and then you can complain about the crazy noise it makes when it's trying to suck up water through the surface skimmer when the water goes down. So there's actually quite a bit of stuff, but I think if they fix the surface skimmer issue, it's going to be really good. That's the main one. So Floyd's Fish, how's it going, man? Thanks for stopping by. We're getting here. I appreciate you stopping by no matter what time. We usually try to go about 2 hours on these videos, plus that's when my battery dies on my phone, so I know I'm getting pretty close here. We're an hour and 15 minutes in, so we'll definitely stop in about 10 minutes, and I need to go inside and do some things with the family around the house, but thanks for stopping by, Floyd, and if you want to see anything before we end here, please feel free. It's definitely a little darker now, so this natural light is not really coming in the garage that much, but Semaj Nacho, Hey, happy Halloween. Thanks for the little jack-o'-lantern emoji. Oh yeah, and speaking of which, you gotta take the kids trick-or-treating. I don't know how that's gonna go. The pandemic, or is it a pandemic? You know, with the COVID situation. But I will be dressing up. Well, maybe not me, but my kids will be. So, thanks for stopping by, Nacho. We'll do this for another 9 minutes or so here, guys, before we wrap it up. Looks like these Stahlsbergie might be gearing up to spawn. See if we can get in here. I see the male shaking his head. This is gonna be too dark to see. You guys tell me. Of course, when I go and watch them, they don't. Cameras really struggle with low light. I really like the species, guys, even though they've been a little bit of a difficult, some issues. I may really need to consider growing out a group of their fry for myself at some point. Kind of the group is dwindling down here with various issues. Might want to work on the F1s for myself going forward. We didn't see the Aslanum yet, did we? So I'll talk about it in the update video, but so my close buddy convinced me, even though I didn't want to. Reluctantly, I accepted the biggest pair in here. I sent him. However, right after removing them, you see a male that looks almost identical take his place. Fun stuff. These Aslanum just, you can't see the color at all in here, but now you got the new Tank Boss, and this is a different male. And multiple females, so he's got his choice still, and I think they already spawned, and I'm just not even paying attention. She's guarding this area. She was super fat. I got some video of her. I'll post it probably this week in the update series video. And I am going to really try not to let anybody convince me to get rid of these guys, because I really want to grow a pair out for myself. I wasn't planning to get rid of that bigger, nicer pair. But God, you know, sometimes buddies and you owe favors and this and that, and you get convinced. But thank God I have backups in here, so looks like I might be okay. But red Aslanums, fun species, really crazy species. Aggression level 9 or 10, really high. So, see if I can get some of the reds in the last sunlight that's coming through. Maybe not. Frontosa arowana, last but not least, you have any of your Geo available? Yeah, I still do have the Braziliensis, guys. I have the I have some fry of that red variation, the Laguna de Mali. You know, but I do also want want to let you guys know, I think Tangle Up and Cichlids has some as well on it. And I think, Kevin, I don't know if you're still here, but maybe you can clarify, but I think he has two different populations. He's got the traditional bluer variant, and he's also got the redder Laguna de Mole variant. So, yeah, he should have them on his stock list. So, Kevin asked, fry under Islanus filter. Oh, you mean under the Islanum tank, Kevin? Yeah, I do have some fry down here. These are Festae from that pair number 1 Rio Gaius pair. And these are Stalsbergi, the smaller batch. I have a larger batch of Stalsbergi, guys. They're available. You should probably already know that. I've said that multiple times. And I just got a holding Festae female in here right now. But Kevin said I did have 2 populations. I sold all the Brazilian population now. He just has the Laguna de Mole. Okay, well, cool, man. Glad to hear that Brazilian population is moving for you. I would love to keep that population someday at some point when I have the space. But as you know, Kevin, I only keep the red one, the Laguna de Mole. But too many fish, not enough tanks. Kevin said, nope, I meant under the filter in the main tank. Right before you said you thought they were spawning. Oh, yeah, when I was talking about this Stalsbergi, man, delayed with the comments, and I'm trying to keep up here. I do have, I don't know if this is the tank under this. I'm not even going to try to comprehend that. Maybe it's, maybe you can clarify, Kevin. I'm just freaking lost right now. Oh, let's put this back in the, as my shoulder is burning up here. All right, guys, we're gonna do this one more minute. Almost at 2 hours, and my phone is almost dead. So we'll just close it out. I appreciate everybody stopping by, especially thank you, Kevin, for stopping by. Tangle Up and Cichlids, go check out his stuff. Sorry, Kevin, plugging you a lot here, but I really appreciate the support. Not very often you get a big vendor like that, you know, showing up with, you know, us hobbyists, you know, in a live video on YouTube. So I think that's really cool. You know, it's vendors like that who are, you know, at heart hobbyists who, you know, I think we can all relate to. And that, to me, whenever possible, would win my business. So appreciate you stopping by, Kevin. Appreciate everybody else, all the regulars. You know, who, Ethan, you know, thank you for showing up too. All the regulars who come by, and just a big discussion on cichlids. You know, it's fun for me. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll keep doing them whenever I have time. You know, and hopefully continue networking. You know, you guys start your channels, sharing your fish more. I love to watch everybody else's fish, so please speak up if you guys start doing stuff and posting your fish. I love to watch other people's fish rooms. And yeah, hope you guys have a great rest of the day, great Sunday, and happy Halloween, and go get some candy and some cavities or whatnot, whatever makes you happy. And happy fish keeping, guys. And until next one, take care, guys. See ya.